Hello, my Greeks and barbarians. Let us attend. This is Unit 7 of AMP NOLA, Byzantine Music 0, Unit 7. This is the big one. The biggest one that ever bigged. We're going to go through everything. We're going to go through all the modes. All of them. And we're going to go through all of the review on the notation and everything. So if you missed any of the courses and kind of want to just get a little bit of it all, this is going to be the one for you. So I'm not going to waste no time because this is going to take a while. Let's get started. First off, here's our review for our neumes going up and down. Here are our 0 neumes. The ison and the ison with the petasti underneath, the note stays the same. +1, note goes up 1, so it's an oligon, which is the line. Petasti, which is a little Nike swoosh. Kendimata, which is the little kind of like railroad tracks. +2, so you go up 2 notes. Oligon with the kendimata below. The oligon and the petasti on top of each other. In this case, they're summed together to make 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, to make 2. 1, 2, going up 2. And then kendima on the right. Up 2. +3. Kendima above. So notice how kendima below is up 2. Kendima above is +3. Kendima above a pedasti is also +3. Ni pavuga na down. Da down, ni pavuga de +4. Na na ni the. This is an oligon with the ypsili on the right. Or it's a pedasti with it on the right as well. The pedasti pretty much always indicates that the note will be ornamented. +5, ypsili left, on either a platform, oligon, or a pedasti. You can tell that in most of these compound note cases, the oligon and the pedasti serve as kind of platforms. They don't actually serve as an ascending note anymore. The ascending note is considered to be the ypsili. +6, which is the kendima and the ypsili right. In both cases, on either the oligon and the kendima. Da ni zon da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 + 6. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, da, 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 ni, son, ni. Then we have ni, +7, also known in Western music as an octave. Remember, in Western music, they call a fifth +4, or they call +4 a fifth. They call +3 a fourth. They call +1 a second. They include the starting note. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a perfect eighth, also known as an octave. But in this case, we call it +7. Da da. And this is the easiest one to remember, I think, because it's the tallest neume you can get, because it's the kendima and the ypsili on top of each other. Now let's do the descending ones. Apostrophos. Apostrophos on top of a pedasti, or an apostrophos by itself. Notice how the pedasti has no ascending quality here. It just serves as a platform and lets you know that it's going to be ornamented. That's -1. Nizo, nike, nizoke, -2, elafron. Or elafron on top of pedasti. Na na na. 1, 2, 3. Da 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 da. Nizoke the. Elafron and apostrophos kind of mixed into each other on top of a pedasti. Or not. Makes it either ornamented or non-ornamented. Nizokedi. -4. Nizokedi ha. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Chamili. You can also put this above petasti or anything else. But I'm just gonna. You almost never see that as like an ornamented note. It usually just get down there and stay down there. -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ni zo, ke, di, ga, fu, ni, fu, da, do. These are hard notes to sing. But we'll have an exercise for you to do that on musictheory.net. Anyway, -5. Familia and apostrofos mixed together. Familia and elafron mixed together gives you -6. Ni so ke diga puva. Ni so ke diga pupa. Ni pa. Da 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 da. Some -6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da da. And then octave. Ni ni. You almost never see this one, this one. You'll see that one, and you'll see that one. Going down a fifth, or in Byzantine music, going down -4 or -7. Ni ni. So that's our neumes ascending and descending. Here's our rhythm review. Gorgon combines neumes into a single beat. You put one here, it's always the one before it and the one it's on. And those two notes now are in one single beat. Ka, 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 ka. You put it here, right? DIGORGON combines 3 into one beat, but it again is only on the second note of the group. So this is so you fit 3 notes into one beat. TRIGORGON, you fit 4. Right? DIGORGON. You don't have to do these. I don't always do them. But you add a bit of duration to part of a gorgon group. So here's your gorgon group of 2. When you do this, a DIGORGON, remember, combines 3 into one beat. What this does is it turns it into a group of 2, but they're now, one of them is twice as long as the rest. So this is now a group of triplets. If that makes any sense. So you basically you're adding 1 kind of, imagine putting 2 of these imagine basically tying these 2 together. And that is what the dot on the gorgon means. So it's basically saying, okay, you still are fitting 2 in 1, but the first one is twice as long as the second one. And then if you put the dot on the other side, it's dun, ga, 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 right? And if you have a dotted DIGORGON, it's the same principle. It's like having a TRIGORGON where you have 4, but then wherever the dot is, it makes one of those to be twice as long. So it's 16ths and 8ths, or something like that, right? Let's take a look. What kind of examples did I do? Let me surprise myself. So if it's on the first little staircase, then this one is twice as long. Right? Now you have, this one is twice as long as these 2. And then you have the last one is twice as long. So once again, this is this is and this is so this goes 1, 2, and a 3, 4. This one goes 1, 2, a 3, 4. This next one goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. All depends on where this dot is on the gorgon. Klasma adds a beat to a neume. So quarter note turns into 2 quarter notes in length, which means 8th note. Klasma on top, you get a, sorry, I'm going too fast in my own head. 2 twice as long quarter note is half note. So Klasma on top of here, half note. Same thing, doesn't matter what note it's on. The dot or the applique, guess what that does? If you forgot, it also adds a beat to a neume. Don't kill me, I didn't make the rules. So this is the same thing as this. See that? Putting a dot on it just adds another beat to it. But you can put 2, and that'll make this the length of 3 quarter notes, which is the dotted half. The ARGON. This is a little bit more complicated. It's like a gorgon and klezmer combined. What it does is this is actually, I wonder if I didn't, this is explained more in depth in the previous week, but what it basically means is this would be da 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 ni pa vu, right? But this is like putting a klezmer over the kendimada, which are read first, ni pa vu, and then adds a beat on the last note that it's on. And it's almost always on this little figure, the oligon with the kendimada below it. And all it basically means is go da da da. And the way that you figure out how many beats to hold the last note, you count the little handles. Da 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 da, like that. If it's 3, if you have 1, 2, 3, like a 1.5 stairs, it'll go ni pa vu 2 3. And if it's a full 1 2 3 4 double staircase, the ARGON, as the Greeks would call it, it'll be ni pa vu 2 3 4. Da, 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 da. You just count however many of these little handles you have. Okay, rhythm combinations. So when you have a gorgo and a klezmer, the gorgo takes the second half of the klezmer that's added to the note and cuts it in half. So now you have a dotted quarter and an eighth note. I explained this a little bit in the other lesson. We're going to keep moving. Same thing with the appli and the gorgo. So this appli, even though it has this little fancy little candy cane here, don't worry about that. It's still just dotted quarter, eighth note. Adds a beat. The beat is split in half with the next note that the gorgon is on. Anyway. Special neumes, iporoi. 2 descending notes in succession. Ta. It's so that you have the same syllable and you have 2 notes descending. That's pretty much what it means. You'll see it a lot of the time. Ta, da, da, da. Going down with the gorgo on top of it. Sinekeza lafron is the same thing as the iporoi, but it's designed to take a new syllable. So it's like an alafron, but it has that quality of the iporoi with the gorgo on top of it. Take a look. So if you remember, the alafron is down 2. Nizoke, right? But it's just da da, nika. Now we're on vu. I didn't write vu, I wrote ni here, but anyway. So vu, pa, ni. This would go ta, ta. This is what you write if you want to have a new syllable and you want that da, da, da little thing. Our stack combinations. So gorgon, stack figure, oligon, and kendimada is always on the kendimada. So whenever you see this little group here, the gorgon is always on top of this. So you can unroll this to be ni pa vu, da da da, like that. You can unpack this to be the opposite. Da 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 da. The kendimada are always read first. It's read from the bottom up on this particular neume. So oligon first, kendimada first, oligon. And the gorgon is always on the kendimada. Now let's do all the modes. Let's get ready. I'm going to try to get this done as fast as possible. I'm not going to use, well, why not? Let's use real pitch here. This, I'm going to show the apihima, and then we're going to read through every usual version of each mode. So here's first mode. The apihima is ananes, on pa, ni pa pa, ananes, right? So here's our sikrarg, which is also known as the slower version of the mode. And this is what it sounds like. So also the Isokratima for the chironomy is just one. It's ba, ba. So if you do the etymologic, the fast, we're just going to do doxakenin because everybody knows this phrase. And it makes it easier to just pay attention to the neumes. Notice how I hold on these klasmas. That's first mode fast. Now we're going to do plagal first. Get our pitch again. Ba. So usually it's either on ba, ba, or ke, right? So here's on ba, ones, with Isokratiman, ba, one finger. And then we have ke, ones, 5 is the chironomy for ke. So, ones, doxa, patrikeio. Let me read this actually just dry, because we haven't gotten into ornamentation yet. Doxa, patrikeio, keio pneumati. Now you can imagine a lot of you that are already somewhat kind of versed with the different melodic structures in ecclesiastical music of the Greek Church, or the Orthodox Church actually, because this is also done in a lot of Eastern Mediterranean Sea countries. And you might notice that this can be pneumati. That's an example of ornamentation. We'll get into it later. It's ba. So your Isokratima is ba, which would be with, if you wanted to dictate it to somebody using the hand signs, it's just your index finger. Now here's etymologic, the fast. Ones, make sure we're still on A. So that's 5. Ones, doxa patrikeio, keio pneumati. You might notice this from like the Evlogitari. Evlogitos Kyrie dilaxon metadikeo matasu, right? So kenin kei keistus onos toneononamin. Now I ornamented at the end. Toneononamin. So once again, just dry. Doxa patrikeio, keio pneumati. Kenin kei keistus onos toneononamin. Now notice, I'm stopping on these klasmas. Kenin kei, 2 beats. Da 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 2 1 and 1 2. Kenin kei. On the, which typically we associate with G. Nanes, it's nanes, nanes. And then it's also hard chromatic on ba or vu. That doesn't matter which side. Sometimes they write as vu, sometimes they write as ba. So nanes for the soft chromatic, the with the 2 dots and the little squiggle. That's soft chromatic. Nanes, the, and a lot of the time it'll be down an octave, preferably. I can't do a low G, not this late in the day. And it'll be 4, but you kind of, push it down there, get them down there, get them down as far down as you can. Na, 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 right? And then na, 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 na. So hard chromatic on fu. So, when it's sicker arc, it's what? Soft chromatic. D, 2, 3, 2 apples, deeply. That means you add 2 beats. D, 2, 3. Because 1 plus 2 equals D, 2, 3. Ooh, it got cut off. Well, anyway. Amen. Just imagine that is up there, and that is right there. That's also a klezmer. Remember, klezmer adds a beat. Now we have earmologic fast on full. Na 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 na. Laksa Patrick io pneumati. Laksa Patrick io pneumati. And you see here, it's the little squiggle without the 2 dots, which means what? Hard chromatic. Same thing. Plagal second mode is the exact opposite. The earmologic is soft chromatic, and the sicker arc, the slow, is hard chromatic. And then you have a third mode here, which is a little bit different, but it's also hard chromatic on ba, but just the melodic content is a little bit different, called nenano, but typically it's nehianes. So let's go down to ba here. Nehianes, or nehianes, but almost everybody does that little ornament there. Nehianes, right? And then you also have nenano in hard chromatic. No, which is kind of a earmologic faster mode, but you do have some stuff that's slow in no as well. It's just a flavor of hard chromatic that falls under the plagal second mode umbrella. So now we have, and then we have soft chromatic, which can either be it could be on the and you would just, push the 4 fingers down as far as you can and get your guys to go bass on you. Or your girls. Got some girl basses out there. Hashtag girl bass. So in this case, this is a long apihima, nehianes, which starts on ba, soft chromatic, and goes up to ke. Nehianes. So that would be like for some particularly special, like papatic things and other things like that. But usually what you would see, nehianes or nehianes. So let's do the sicker arc first. Nehianes, doxa patrick Now it sounds probably a little weird to you because you're probably, if you are familiar with plagal second at all, most of the time that you're going to do most of these melodies, they're going to have some ornaments built into them that almost everybody does. So it would sound more like this. pneumati. Hard chromatic on ba. Ba. Hand sign is 1. Genin geim geistus. Oh, what's this? It's a phthora for Ikea. This typically, the hard chromatics mode typically doesn't continue up, if you remember this from before, when we talked about hard chromatic. It almost always converts into soft diatonic Ikea on the. So that's the slow plagal second. Here's the fast. Now notice here that they've written vu. Sometimes they'll write vu, sometimes they'll write the. Just pay attention. Right? Do your low the. Soft chromatic. Da 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 da. Pneumati. Genin That's the fast. Third mode. Let's get our F, which is Ga. Na, na, na. That's the apikima. Na, na. Na, na. No matter fast, slow, medium, who cares? Here's the sticker arc slow. Na, na. Ison is 3. Watch how the ison changes as I sing this, so I won't be able to kind of follow it along with the cursor. Follow it along as best you can. Na, na. Doxa patri keion keio pneumati. So notice how it goes Ga, you have Ga, you have Ni, and you have Ba. You have some others in third mode, but that's the 3 big heavy hitters. Genin keim keistus eon aston eon amin. Nan That's what it would be dry. So you've probably gathered that that's non and then amin when you have this little varion there. Da, da, da. Now we have irmologic. Na, na, fast. So again, it's ni, ra, pa. Na. Doxa patri keio pneumati. So doxa patri keio pneumati. Genin keistus eonaston eonamin. You might be more familiar with hearing it like this. Genin keistus eonaston eonamin. So that's kind of how a full ornamented version of that phrase would sound. Plagal third, grave mode. But this is what I would prefer to call plagal third because it's on Ga, and it sounds like third mode. Again, third mode, Ga, Ni, Ga, back and forth, with a couple of Bas in there. It's like almost the opposite of, third mode has more Bas, Ba phrases, and plagal third has more Ni phrases. And the apikima is A-A-Nez. A-Nez, Ga. So it sounds like this. follow my hand signs down here. Sones, doxa patricae, que aio pneumati. And then I'll just do this one without holding the isocratimo markings, but you get the idea. Ganin, but when you see the pseudo in the klasma, a lot of the time people will shoot one note up extra. Ganin, that's the slow, that's the dry, and here's the ornamented. Ganin, but notice how we both always end on the here. Ganin, anyway, gonna do a dry. Sorry, I didn't do a dry. So how I would typically read it with ornamentation is something like this. Ganin kai Jesus onaston anon. Amen. 1, 2, 3, because you have 2 extra beats added. And then we have etymologic, the fast version. Anes, doxa patricae, que aio pneumati. Almost sounds like play go fourth on Iga, which we'll get to in a second. Genin que ai que istus onaston neononam. What? Genin que ai que istus onaston neononamin. So, da 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 So 0 plus 3 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 plus 1 plus 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 1 0 minus 1 minus 1 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Now here's real values. So that's a thumb. I'll actually go do a thumbs down, even though it doesn't look very good. So this goes like this. So the scale goes like this. So this is up how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this goes. Isocratima on zo. Loxa patricae, que aio pneumati. So this is weird because it's gadi, vu, gadi, na, no, genin, que ai, que istus anaston anonamin, aios athanatos eleisonimas. That's for later in life. Greeks and barbarians in my life. Now we have fourth mode. Fourth mode has a bunch of flavors. It's like the Baskin Robbins of Byzantine music. Legetos. So you have vu, legetos. You have agia on fourth mode, ba, agia. You also have agia, which is agia on the. So, sticker arc slow on agia on ba. Na agia. You have the isogratima is ba and vu. Watch my hand as it changes. Na doxa patri keia keia pneumati kenin kei keistus eonaston eonon. Amen. Sticker arc slow, first mode Aikya on Pa is almost always on Pa, but then it has these vu. So you have to kind of be aware of what melody goes with what isokratima. But you'll get the idea of how these melodies start to sound. This is one of the harder modes for beginners to really grasp. And you have Earmologic Fast, which is one of the easier ones for channels to grasp. This is kind of like your Anixotos mamu keplirothis et pneumatos, or ekneotitos mupola polemi mepathi, right? Any one of those. Doxa patrike io pneumati. Which sometimes goes da 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 da. We'll have phrases that end on ba as well. So it's kind of the opposite of the sticker arc. Sticker arc is mostly on ba, with phrases on vu sometimes. This is mostly vu with phrases on pa sometimes. Now you have the sticker arc slow. Doxa patri keio pneumati. So the scale is interesting. The kezanizo kedigavu pani pavu gadi. So ga goes sharp. The stays the same. Kez a little sharp. Zo is a little sharp. Ni pavu. The kezani pavu. Ga vu flat pani zo ke natural. The ga flat vu pani da 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 da. So it sounds like this. Loxa patri keio keio pneumati. And then kenin keim keistus eonas ton eonon. Amen. And then you have, just for fun, Aikios athanatos el the etymologic fast, which you don't hear very often. This would be kind of cool to do. This is from a doxology from, oh, somebody knows better than me, maybe Fadlekas. So this would stay on the again. Doxa patrike pneumati kenin ke Jesus anaston onamin. It's kind of like one of my favorite modes because it has so much like of this kind of fiddly major minor vibe to it. It's like a fourth mode. Everybody's easy mode. And we're almost done. Usually on ni. With the ison on ni, which is the fist. Or it can be on the ga. Here's the sticker arc, slow on ni. Laksa patrika kaya pneumati kenin kai Christus anaston amin. And that's just all on ni. Here's the etymologic fast on ni as well. Laksa patrika pneumati kenin kai Christus anaston amin. Easy peasy. Here's etymologic fast. Laksa patrika pneumati. You might hear this. This might sound familiar to you because of Paraknisi. Right? Then you have kenin kai Christus anaston amin. Na and da da. We're done. So, like I said, this was a big one. I'm gonna do all of these Unit 8. I'm gonna do tomorrow, but I wouldn't recommend you watching it until you get through this first. We're gonna get through beginning ornamentation, which we're just gonna look at maybe like 2 or 3 different figures and just show how they kind of translate, and then also just play you through something on YouTube so you can kind of follow along, and we'll stop and kind of do quick analyses of like what's really going on there and how you can kind of figure out what ornaments are available that we're not teaching tomorrow. So enjoy this, and hopefully you learned all about everything in this one quick and handy little lesson here. I don't know how long that took. Maybe it only took I guess it only took a half an hour. Did it only take a half an hour? No, it had to have taken longer than that. Anyway, Greeks and barbarians, thank you so much. We've been in here 2 months, and I hope you learned some stuff. And if you didn't, I guess just go back and watch it again. You'll learn it eventually. Anyway, we'll